Footprints, yep. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Morning. Welcome to Unity of Gaithersburg. I'm Reverend Ogun Holder, your temporary minister. I'm glad you are here today. I'm glad you are watching online, whether it's live or later. Let us begin with a prayer. So if you are comfortable, gently close the eyes. Feel free to leave them open. And connect with the breath in this moment. The breath brings us to the present. It brings us here, now. The only true moment that we have, the only true moment where we can experience the fullness of who we are, which is the essence of the divine. So today we come together to remember that, to honor that, to celebrate that, to dive deeper into that. And we are grateful, and so it is, and so we let it be. So welcome to another Sunday service. Let us begin today with sharing one of our core values, which is, there we go, our vision statement. Let's share our vision statement together. Be in love, joy, and harmony, we expand the consciousness of oneness. Take it away.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can I do all the things that the world needs? But the world needs all the good that I can do.
troubled with the fact I haven't done that yet, so I'm sorry. Okay, so transformational opportunities. We are doing a wonderful, wonderful drive to find some coats and hats and scarves for people in Afghanistan, I think, yes. And this is a really great thing that's going on. And today is the last day, I think, is if I'm right on that. So I was email today, and I went running down to my closet and shuttling through it. So I have a little baggie of things to give over there, and we will do that soon. I keep thinking my voice is loud enough. I'm sorry. As I get a microphone next to me, I go, oh, no, it gets much louder, Brad, if you give it a chance. Okay, next is Awakening to Our Oneness, the spiritual SEEs coming up, and it's in June 5th through 10th. This is a great opportunity to brush up on a specific thing if you want, grab an evening class, do the whole week, and really immerse yourself into a lot of unity principle. And it's a great way also to make new friends, I find. So put that on your calendar and think about it. Community meeting is coming up. You can mark your calendars. It's on Sunday, February 20th at right after church, 12:15. It will be in person and on Zoom. That's great. And, you know, I think we should all, I think we should all applaud ourselves a little bit. The fact that we have kept this going. And we know that there are key players here, there, who have really carried the water on that. But I think the fact that each of us has, okay, I can do this, and we keep in this, and so many things are happening still. I think we are extraordinary, and we should give ourselves a little credit for that. And then after church today, of course, there is, as always, there is an opportunity for you to seek enlightenment, encouragement, support, uplift from our prayer chaplains. Today's prayer chaplains are Carol and Edie. It's not, okay, so it's you, okay. Carol, and that's not what it says in the script. And that's our transformational opportunities. Good luck. Okay. Oh, I'm on now? Today, we're celebrating world peace. And in this, I envision all people living in harmony. Sometimes I wonder about my place in a world that is changing so rapidly. I realize that many of the world's people may be wondering the same thing. Change can feel scary, especially when I feel as though I have to navigate a shifting landscape alone. I expand my awareness and wonder whether others are feeling the way I do. Feeling fearful or insecure can overwhelm feelings of peace. As peace seems further and further away, it is easy to drift into isolation and discord. Preach it, Brad. I pray, reclaiming peace by feeling my divine identity as a child of God. I remember that all people share this divine identity. I include all the world's people in my prayer, envisioning us coming together in harmony to create a peaceful world. That spoke to me a lot, walking alone in this stuff we're doing. Anyway, that's the daily word, guys.
Driving last Friday on her way to Cincinnati on a snow-white Christmas Eve. Going home to see her mama and her daddy with the baby in the backseat. 50 miles to go, she was running low on faith and gasoline. It's been a long, hard year. She had a lot on her mind and she didn't pay attention. She was going way too fast. And before she knew it, she was spinning on a thin black sheet of glass. She saw both the light flash before her eyes. She didn't have time to cry. She was so scared. She threw the hands up in the air. Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hands, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go, give me one more chance, save me from this road I'm on. Jesus, take the It was still getting colder when she made it to the shoulder and the car came to a stop. She cried when she saw the baby in the backseat sleeping like a rock. And for the first time in a long time, she bowed her head to pray. She said, I'm sorry for the way I've been living my life. I know I've got to change. So from now on tonight, Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hands, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go, just give me one more chance, save me from this road I'm on. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. Oh, I'm letting go. Give me one more chance. Save me from this road I'm on. From this road I'm on. Jesus, take the wheel.
You know what? I always appreciate the message and the intention, the metaphor of that song. I kind of find it a little bit hilarious sometimes because Jesus was a first century Israelite. He wouldn't know what to do with a steering wheel if you gave it to him, right? Think about that for a second. But I appreciate the message of the song as an invitation into surrender, into releasing control. And I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to acknowledge that today is it the last day of January? The second to last day? Last day? Yeah. We've almost covered a full month into this year already, and we're about to jump into February. And February, like a lot of other months, lots of stuff happening in February, which you may not be aware of. Some of it you know. So February is Black History Month coming up. It's also Valentine's Day. So I'm giving all of you advance notice to get something together for your partners. February 14th is Valentine's Day. You know what February 15th is? National Singles Day. Right on the heel of Valentine's Day. Yeah. Other of my favorite days in February, 3rd of February, National Carrot Cake Day. February 9th, National Pizza Day is also a good day. In this month, we also have Super Bowl Sunday for the Super Bowl football fans out there. It happens to be the month Ava, my girlfriend, celebrates her birthday as well. And February is also National Wedding Month, which I thought was interesting because people get married all through the year, probably because it's connected to Valentine's Day. So there's a lot of things to celebrate in February. And speaking of it being National Wedding Month, it's an interesting month for me all the time because I did get married in February. I actually got married the day before Valentine's Day. I think it was a plot to make sure I would never forget the date of my anniversary. But I remember at the time, Jennifer, who many of you know, we were looking for places to get married on Valentine's Day because we thought it would be romantic. Could not find an available place to get married on Valentine's Day. Every single place was booked up, reserved years in advance. Some people actually told us there were people who reserved the place even though they weren't engaged, just in case. Yeah, that was a thing. And they said, but if you want to get married the day before, we got a full slate open. So we did that. We got married February 13th, 1999. If she were alive today, we would likely be celebrating our 23rd anniversary, assuming I didn't mess something up along the way, which is entirely possible. But here I am. And February, as a result, becomes an interesting month for me. She passed away 7 years ago, and my journey navigating this experience we call grief has been interesting. It's definitely gotten, for lack of a better word, milder over the years, but it's still very unpredictable. I remember the first year, February 13th rolled around, and I didn't remember that it was our anniversary. This happened a few years ago, and I felt horrible as a result of it. And then there are some years where I did remember, and it didn't hit me emotionally. And then there are other years where I know it's coming, and I could feel the swell of emotions begin to rise. This year happens to be one of those such years. So I never know what's going to happen. Same thing around her birthday, same thing around Mother's Day, same thing around the anniversary of the day she actually died. I don't know what's going to happen. And for the first few years, I was on high alert for whatever might happen. I would give the people around me lots of warnings. I was like, hey, this is what's happening in a couple weeks. So please already forgive me for whatever I'm about to say in the next 2 weeks, because I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. So just give me a little more extra leeway during that time, leading up to it, and right after it, and during it. Because I just never know. And sometimes I go through that time, and I'm my usual, normal, funny, hilarious, charming self. And other times, thank you, Jim, I appreciate that. And other times, I end up being withdrawn and sullen and borderline mean, though some people would argue, no, it wasn't borderline, my friend. You crossed the border. You did a full incursion into meanness. I was like, I'm so sorry. But this is the journey. This is the journey. And for many of us, we stand in that place of asking ourselves, when will it end? When will this stop? When will I come to a place where I no longer have to be on heightened alert, where I no longer have to experience these swells and these troughs? And when will that time come? The last 2 years have been interesting for all of us because of this pandemic. Some of us have lost loved ones, and for some of us, our lives continued fairly unchanged. But what many therapists, psychologists, researchers have realized is that we are all feeling this sense of loss. Whether it's because we have, again, personally suffered loss, we know people who have, we've heard about all the deaths around the world, in our nation, in our towns, in our cities. We know people who've lost jobs, we know relationships that have ended. While we may not have suffered loss directly, we've all felt what they call ambiguous loss. We can't necessarily point to something, but we just don't feel the same. None of us have felt the same in the last 2 years. And now we're rolling into a third year, and we're like, when's it going to end? When is this going to end? I have good news and bad news. Let's start with the bad news. It ain't going to end. And I don't mean the pandemic specifically. I mean losses in our life. And I mean grief. It's not going to end. Loss is much a part of our life as life is a part of our life, as love is a part of our life. It just is. It's a constant. Not one that we relish in, but it's a constant. But it's a constant we don't like. We don't like it because we don't like how it makes us feel. We don't like how it feels when we're in it. And we want to get rid of it. And part of why we want to get rid of it is, again, that perhaps that fear that it won't end, that we will always be in this. And fear is a thing that upends us, right? Fear, many of you are familiar with this saying, false evidence appearing real. I hate this. You know why? Because sometimes I got real evidence. I got real evidence. I sat with my wife as she drew her last breath. My daughter wailing, I'm crying, her parents, my mom, my sister, we were all there. That image, that feeling, those sounds, the smells, forever seared in my memory. I got evidence. So, I say we get rid of this one. False evidence appearing real. I got evidence, and it was real. And what often happens, what I've experienced, is that when I allow the fear to keep dominating my life, it makes me want to do this. Run. Yeah. And I did that too. I ran from you guys. I had just started I don't know if you remember this, but Jennifer died in 2015 in June, and in January I just started a job in Massachusetts as the minister of a Unity church in Massachusetts. And we got her diagnosis. I'd given my talk the first Sunday in January, and we got her diagnosis that Tuesday. So I just started. The new car smell wasn't even off my suit yet, and we got that diagnosis. And when I told the board president up there in the board, they actually said to me, hey, if you want to get out of this and go back home, we understand. We understand. And part of why I said no was because I was afraid. I was afraid of the enormity of what it would take to come back, navigate that journey with my daughter. Undoubtedly coming back to be part of this community and navigate that too. It felt like a lot. And my brain, I was like, well, if I stay there, at least, I have a distraction. I have a future I can begin to build to help take care of my daughter. Plus, I don't have to help navigate a community who has just lost their minister. I'm going to have enough to deal with. So I said, F everything, and I'm running. So I did that too. And that's what grief does to us if we allow our fear of it to run the show. We sang Jesus Take the Wheel, but a lot of times we let fear take the wheel of the car. We let fear take the wheel. I think I mentioned this before. Buddhist teacher Tara Brach says of fear, it is the anticipation of future pain. The anticipation of future pain. We don't like pain, and we want to do everything we can to avoid pain. But pain is not a bad thing. Pain's just pain. It's just pain. It is an objective thing we can feel, we can experience. It's just pain, but the meaning we give to it is what decides the role it plays in our life. And if we take a step back to realize that grief, loss, pain are just constants in our life like everything else, then we have another option, which is to face everything and relax. And I don't mean relax like put my seat back and put my feet up on the dashboard. Not that kind of relax. Relax as in stop resisting and to allow ourselves to be carried by the current. Whether that current is joy, peace, sadness, grief. Face everything and relax. When we relax, we can finally begin to forgive. And forgive, I like to define as simply living from love. Living from love. A lot of Jesus coming up today. Remember what would Jesus do? Remember the bracelets? Remember that whole movement? What would Jesus do, right? So what would love do? What would love do? If I wasn't in so much pain and my heart was open and I could live from love, what would I do? Because we don't feel that way every time, but we can think that way every time if we remember to in the moment. We don't need to heal from grief. Grief is the healing. And a word about that word healing. When we say the word heal, a lot of times what we do is we use it in a way when really what we mean is cure or fix or stop or get rid of. Think about the times you've used the word heal. I have an illness that I want to be healed from. What we really tell ourselves is, I want this illness to be gone. I want a miracle. I want to heal a relationship. I want to fix it. I want to get it back to the way it was. Think about how you use that word heal. Because for me, that's not what it means. When we talk about healing ourselves, we're not talking about fixing parts of us that are broken. Intrinsically, we're not broken. We're always whole. That is our essence. That is the deep truth of who we are. So for me, healing is getting me to that place where I can, in the midst of all that's going on, remember to live and choose from my wholeness. This does not mean I don't feel sad or angry or the loss, the grief, the pain, the suffering. It doesn't mean I don't feel these things, but what it means is that in the midst of feeling these things, I don't resist them. I relax into them. It means I continue to choose from the wholeness that I am, even at times I don't want to. It means being brave and being mindful to go, I am feeling pain right now, and as a result, I have hurt you, and I am sorry. That's healing, living from my wholeness. To live from our wholeness, we have to surrender to the very thing we don't want to feel, that we're trying to get away from, we're trying to move from, that we're exhausted, that we're tired of. And to be clear, it doesn't mean that sometimes we don't look at the circumstances around us and say some things need to change. That's not what I'm saying. You can discern that. But if we start with the thought that if I change out there, I will change in here, then we're doing it backwards. We have to come to peace with here. And from that place, discern what out here needs to change, if anything. We live from the inside out, and it's so hard to get clarity on the inside when grief is squeezing our hearts. Here's the thing about our hearts. They're very malleable. They got nowhere to go, but they're going to just form themselves around everything. Transform, mutate. Because our hearts, the essence of who we are, which is love, is greater than anything else that we believe we're going through right now. It is greater than the pain, the loss, the suffering, the griefs, whether they are known griefs or unknown griefs. It's better than the malaise. It's better than the depression. And again, when we center there first, then we can discern and be clear about what is ours to do. So how do we continue to navigate this? We begin to turn grief itself into a spiritual practice. When I say spiritual practice, what do I mean? What is a spiritual practice? Spiritual practice is anything that we take on a regular basis that allows us to be more mindful about ourselves and our relationship to the divine of who we are. Meditation is a spiritual practice, right? Because when we meditate, the idea is that we attempt to quiet the mind, still the monkey chatter, and connect with that still small voice within us. Anything that helps us get deeper within ourselves is a spiritual practice. Anything that helps us know ourselves more is a spiritual practice. Because to know myself, the truth of myself, is to know God, because that's the essence of what I am. It's the essence of what you are as well. And when I face the grief and relax into it, and it opens me up because honestly, we're grieving because we loved so much. Here's another saying I don't like that I'm really tired of hearing. Grief is love with no place to go. That's a load of crap. I had a place for it to go. And honestly, there are a zillion places that love can go. And one of those places is right back on myself. Grief is a reminder that I love, not loved, that I love. And can I turn some of that love back on myself? Can I love myself more deeper, more fuller? And come into an awareness even more of who I am. That's a spiritual practice. So when these swells of grief come, whether they be huge tidal wave types or, just gentle bobbing on the shore, whatever it is, allow yourself to imagine yourself like lay on your back, lay floating on the water and just moving with it, not resisting it. Let the sadness, let the pain come. Notice it. Identify what it is. This hurts. This is painful. Don't seek to get rid of it. Give yourself the time, the space and grace, I call it, to sit in it. And you might be like, I'm so tired of sitting in this. And I'll be like, yeah, but guess what? The only way out is through. The only way out is through. And honestly, there's no out. It's really just through. And what you'll realize after some time of this practice, of acknowledging the things that grief poke at, the questions that it brings up that makes us afraid. Will I ever love this way again? Am I going to be stuck in loneliness? All these questions. Allow them to sit unanswered. Because the truth is, the answer might be yes, the answer might be no. Can we allow ourselves to sit in the not knowing? Until the not knowing no longer scares us. Can we allow ourselves to sit in the pain until the pain no longer scares us? That is our practice of grieving that brings us to a deeper sense of ourselves. Love is what got us into this mess in the first place. And love is what's going to get us through it. So, as we roll into the third year of this exhaustive malaise of the pandemic, as we remember whether the losses came as a result of it or before it, whether the pandemic has exacerbated and exaggerated all the pains that we felt before it started. Let us remember to love ourselves through it and allow the grief, the feelings that arise because of loss, to take us deeper. To take us deeper. Let's meditate. So if you're comfortable, plant both feet on the floor. Allow your arms to rest in your lap. And if you're comfortable, gently close the eyes and connect with the breath. And notice as you are connecting with your breath, what feelings are arising in you right now. And whatever is arising, allow it. Allow yourself to relax into it. Give yourself the gift of being present to yourself, with yourself, and all that arises from yourself. Allow grief to be a practice of being present to yourself. To embrace the sadness of that which you have lost and the reminder of the deep love that was present. Invite your hearts to remain open. Open to the pain. So that through love, we can transform that pain into presence. Ours is not to avoid, but to allow. And in so doing, we find our way back to living from wholeness, living from love. I live from love. I live from love. Let us affirm that to ourselves silently for a few moments. I live from love. I live from love. Let us ground ourselves in this today and every day moving forward. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. And a final reminder, None of us have to navigate this alone. We have each other. And this community is here in support of you. If you ever need someone to sit with you, mourn with you, grieve with you, cry with you, be inappropriately weird in things you say with you, I'm here. We also have our prayer chaplain team who's also here to sit with you. Who were prayer chaplains today? By the way? Edie, and is that Carol, right? So connect with them. Connect with me. Reminder that Unity has a 24-hour prayer service, Silent Unity. You can reach them on your phone or online at any point in time. And someone will be there with you. This is your unique journey, and you don't have to do it all alone.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. The shoes and the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain, seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I just won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain, seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Now I'm walking my mind through an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Been talking untied on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again.
You know, I was so fizzled before. I did not sort of pass off, after the daily word, I did not pass off the moment to our splendid musicians with any elegance, so there was dead air. And I apologize for that because they're so wonderful, and we all appreciate them so much. Thank you. All right, I think this is a time for us to talk about tithes and offerings, things that we can give in all the many ways. There's a lot of different ways to share your wealth and make it our wealth. There's offering boxes in the back, or you can go online, or you can even text. It's so complex the way we can throw money around now. I just love it. So I hope you all will consider that the best you can and help us out with that. And for that, we bless all of ourselves everywhere with our offering, which is divine love, I am, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am so grateful. So, there's no children out there. Are they dancing out there? Are they having a good time? So
I think they'll be in.
This is the time we get to see our joyous spirits from Youth Ed. I don't know if I can riff. It's like I'm trying to fill time. You got anything?
Would you like me to riff for you?
Yeah.
I think. Do we have some? We have some.
Oh.
So let's stand.
Yeah.
Let us stand and welcome them in as we sing. Walking is the light. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking as 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 the light of
Do you know what a blessing you are, right? Do you want to come and tell them? Come here. Come here. Tell them.
I am the light of the world.
And then tell them, you are the light of the world.
I am the light of the world.
Yes, you are. He knows it. And you are the light of the world. Live as the light. And together we all say, we are the light of the world. We live as the light.
So let us affirm the truth for all of us, the children, the world. Let there be peace on earth.
Peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be.
Go live from love this week. Namaste.